Hi guys, my name is Candace Marie and I am with Astrology.com bringing you your new moon in Sagittarius highlights. In this video we're going to talk a little bit about how to honor the new moon in Sagittarius through ritual and some ways that you can get into that energy to really manifest the most with this lunar cycle. We will also be discussing some of the horoscopes that I'm seeing and some insight for each and every one of the 12 zodiac signs and how you guys should be affected later in this video. But first, let's get to some of the planetary aspects that we are going to be seeing. First things first, November 29th is when we're going to have the new moon in Sagittarius. It will be in 7 degrees, both the sun and the moon, as well as transiting Juno. Some of the things that we're going to be seeing, first things first, Neptune conjunct the South Node. This is going to be kind of heavy, kind of confusing, but also giving us the space and the opportunity to see that we're at a crossroads and we have the ability to make choices and create change. It's canceling stuff out that keeps you off of your spiritual path. So anything that needs to be cleared or needs to change at this time is going to be taking place. Also, we're going to have the new moon squaring Neptune. So deep emotions, lots of feels, and, you know, having difficulty with clarity is something that I'm seeing once again with some of these themes. Realizing that there is potential for deception. And so that's both in a sense of what you're seeing for yourself and really being able to separate the truth from illusion, as well as with other people. You may find that you're questioning your beliefs or questioning yourself at this time. This is normal. Don't beat yourself up over it. Know that this is just a part of the transit with what's going on. The sun will be squaring Neptune as well, so it's just a whole lot of Neptune energy. It's a whole lot of illusions and cutting through the illusions and getting to the bottom and getting to the root of where you lie with the relationship with yourself. Inner tensions that lead to motivation is the big thing that I see with that sun aspect. And I think that it's dealing with your ego, it's dealing with your limits, but it also brings out a whole lot of creative visions, a whole lot of spontaneous things that could be divine ideas or divine visions that you're seeing that's leading you more so in the right direction. Those of you guys who know Sagittarius, you know it's associated with the hunter, and you see the bow and arrow and a couple of the other elements that are associated with the forest. So honoring Sagittarius in the new moon, you can be looking at ways to bring the forest into your home. A lot of us are buying Christmas trees and already getting ready, so you've got that down pat. That's a really easy way to honor it during this time. But you can also be looking at bringing in like pine cones, or you can be bringing in aspects that are related to Sagittarius. I have a little lantern that I like to put a tea light in, and I like to leave that with my intentions on the Sag new moon as a way to kind of illuminate the path so I have better aim for what I'm looking to achieve. If you are in some of the warmer parts of the world, you can actually go out to the forest if you feel comfortable doing so, either in sitting in meditation or just being able to give thanks and set your intentions in that space. With new moons, you have about 2 or 3 working days. So remember that if you're not able to set your intentions at the time of the new moon, that's okay. As long as you're doing it within about 2 to 3 days afterwards, you're still in that energy and you have plenty of time to write down your intentions or have some kind of ritual. With crystals in Sagittarius, I tell people working with amethyst or turquoise or garnet is an excellent way to channel Sag energy. If you're somebody who likes to wear crystals on you, or maybe you want to set up a grid in your home on an altar space or somewhere near you where you're working, that's an excellent thing to be doing at this time. You can also charge your crystals, or you can wear the crystals on you to really kind of get in alignment with that energy. Because Sagittarius is a fire sign, I like to work with candles and burning candles to honor the Sag new moon. So I'll take a combination of Sagittarian herbs and sprinkle them on the top of a candle or burn them on a charcoal. Other people may perhaps want to take it and turn it into a bath. You can do that as well. Or you can just find a candle that is associated with one of these scents. But I have basil, saffron, ginger, and sage. So you can mix some of those up and sprinkle it on top, or maybe you have a candle that smells like one of those scents. I also have lemon and nutmeg too. So during the holiday time, there's a ton of ginger, there's a ton of nutmeg around. You can put some of that out, or you might want to use oil diffusers. That's another way to work with that energy, to bring that kind of Sagittarian, positive, uplifting, independent energy into your home. But me personally, I will just dress a candle and put some of those herbs on top of it and sit and meditate with that candle to really think about and manifest what I'm wanting to bring in. During the time of the new moon, we're also going to have Mercury in Sagittarius, transiting Juno, as well as Saturn. Now, Saturn's been there for a little while now. This is nothing new to us. We're actually getting into the later parts of Saturn's development in Sagittarius, so we're pretty used to that by now. But some of the themes that I've kind of looked at that might be popping up for us are, especially with Juno in the same degree as the new moon, the need to define relationships. Now, I see Sagittarius as pretty independent. So what this says to me is we really need to reflect on our relationships if we're in one and decide, if we're looking to move forward and figure out where we stand in this relationship, is it in alignment with our own spiritual independence or our own personal path? Are we still being given the space that we need to have a relationship and still be in alignment with ourselves? I think that that's going to be a major theme. You're not going to see some of these answers in terms of defining the relationship really kind of come back until we get into December. So you're going to have to let that unfold as it may. But in the meantime, you might be doing a lot of communication about this, especially with Mercury and Sagittarius, and needing to be very clear about what you need on a personal level from yourself and in terms of your space and your own personal time to have a healthy balance in a relationship. I also have fogginess in regards to your spiritual goals and involvement. Now, when we look at Sagittarians and Sagittarian energy with the 9th house, that can be your own personal spiritual studies, perhaps even your path in terms of education and higher education, and what goals you're setting for yourself and what you can be anticipating to participate in this next year. I also have a reevaluation of your studies and your mentors as well as your spiritual groups. So you may be switching groups. You may be going from being the student to being the teacher and wanting to set the bar high for wanting to start teaching others in this next year. I'm going to see a lot of that coming up with Mars in Aquarius, a lot of social groups, gatherings. Seems like a lot of spiritual retreat energy. So if you're starting to make plans about traveling going into next year, you may see a lot of that coming up where you have the opportunity to make plans to go on retreats, or perhaps even to be teaching or be getting into different spiritual studies. And finally, I have activist efforts, more involvement in community and government issues. So we're seeing this because of what's going on in the States, not just in terms of activist stuff, but with what's going on with our election and the results that we've had from the election. You're going to be seeing a lot more people speaking out about their belief systems, their political beliefs, what they're involved in. It's important with this Neptune energy to really make sure that you're in alignment with what feels right and not be getting caught up in illusion. Make sure that you're fighting for something that resonates with you personally, and that doesn't always necessarily mean going out and being vocal. Sometimes it means, prayer and using the more spiritual aspects of Sagittarius and being able to hold space for other people and raising awareness in peaceful methods. But you're going to see all different types of people coming out and speaking about their beliefs and what they're looking to do and how they're looking to change the world, not just locally, but through developments and coming together with other groups of people from all around the world. So you're going to be very active in talking about that. You're going to see a lot more coming up this month about how what is happening in one country is affecting everyone and raising awareness for some of these themes. As with anytime you look at a horoscope highlight or anything that has to do with your monthly predictions, it's very, very important for you to be finding out your ascendant or your rising sign. You need to check out a birth calculator online and put in your time, date, and location of birth so you can figure that out, because it's going to give you very accurate information in terms of what you can be expecting with some of these highlights. But to get things started, we're going to start off with Aries. Here I have self-motivation, travel, and education. So you're going to be seeing, you're setting new themes for what you're wanting to study, where you're wanting to go. With Uranus that's in Aries, there's a lot of change that's going on with you personally. So this guidance and some of these spiritual or personal practices will actually be helping you through this transition. And it's going to be very helpful. I think a lot of themes about travel is coming up for you and where you can be going and where you can be learning. As for Aries and the card of the month, we have the Page of Wands. That's pretty appropriate for Aries. I think this is talking about new ventures and where you're going and what you're doing, and doing it with a very open and imaginative sense of self, and being very optimistic and willing to go and really put yourself in it and start creating some change. So remember that, do that in a very open and almost like a childlike way, that you're really allowing yourself to dive deep into some of your newer interests. And then we move on to Taurus. I have other people's money, foreign investments, contracts, business partnerships. I'm seeing a lot of this. You know, Taurus rules the second house. So to have the new moon in an opposing house, I think it's learning to work with other people, learning to communicate, especially with Mercury and Sagittarius, and hearing other perspectives and other people's views when it comes to business or financial matters or transactions, and being open to that. With that being said, your card of the month is 10 of coins. So it's going to pay off. I mean, it could really, especially in terms of investments. And this isn't just money, but this can be time, how you're investing in other people, what you're getting out of it, and what's coming back to you. Be really open to see other perspectives is really going to help you through this next month. Gemini, we have relationships and commitments, what you're deciding to do, where you're at, what you feel like you're capable of doing, and what you have to offer. Whole lot of conversations about that. It can be difficult for Geminis. I mean, you guys have all these planets in Sag, it's opposing you, and Saturn's there too. So having to learn how to perhaps even put roots down in relationships, and to start to build with people and build confidence, and be able to create things, and realize that, you know, what you set your intentions to, you can actually see manifest in other relationships with other people, and that you can really get what you want when you put your mind to it. So the card for that is the Magician. How appropriate. It's really, you know, as above, so below. So if you're thinking about it, if you're imagining it, if you're wanting it to come together, there's ways that you can use everything at your disposal, all of your tools, all of your best abilities to communicate that and to really turn it into a reality and to see it play out in relationships. And I think that's also talking about creating magic through relationships and being able to see that if you can think it, it can actually happen. Getting into Cancer, I have emotional health, retreats, workspace, and your schedule. So lots of changes here for Cancers. I've talked to a lot of you guys who are noticing that you're having career changes and things that are happening in terms of where you're working, or even perhaps going solo. So this month, it's all about being able to find that healthy balance of me time and work time, and how I'm able to balance out my schedule to see to it that everything is kind of taken care of and it's done in a very healthy way. The card of the day, or the card of the month for this, is Four of Wands. Also retreat, you know, celebration. I see this as kind of like the lazy Sunday card. So this is, you know, as all Cancers do, they really take pleasure in the comfort of their home, and perhaps even being able to find that you can work into your home space and to keep it separated in a healthy way, so you're able to relax and you're able to find time to spend time with your family or with people to celebrate your accomplishments and your hard work. Then we get into Leo. Here I put romance and rebuilding your confidence. Creative projects is huge this month. You're going to see that new people are coming in who you're going to be able to do some kind of work with, who are going to be inspiring you either to work together or through their presence in your life, inspiring you to want to be in love, to want to have love around you, to have this playful romantic energy that's around. I think that it's going to be kind of dreamy, and it's going to be kind of fun, and you may be able to really perhaps turn something that could be a romantic connection into something that could be a little bit more than just this dreamy space. It could actually play out in a relationship. So the card for that is King of Cups. Your cup being full, being open, be receptive, be loving. What you put out there is what you get. And really have an open heart and see that maybe you're going to be able to hit some emotional goals that you've been setting and just being able to get some love. Then we move on to Virgo. For this, it's reorganization of the home, creating family time, home improvement, and family travel. So you may be noticing that you're talking a lot with your family, or talking a lot about what's going on at home and how you're going to be able to make time for your travels, or how you're able to cut out time for your family. Reorganizing the home, going and clearing stuff out, removing some of the clutter. This is some of the other stuff that I'm seeing as being some of the themes with Virgo this month. And the card that you guys get is the Star. So what you're dreaming, what you're manifesting, also creating a healthy space of peace in the home. Perhaps this is talking about being able to go and have a home away from home, or where you want to be actually physically moving into, and what you're envisioning and what you're hoping and praying for. That could potentially come true in this next year. So there's that. Next we have Libra. And so for Libra, new communications, writing partnerships. I'm seeing a whole lot of movement through the third house. It's all about being able to open things up and really communicate freely. Perhaps people coming to you for relationship advice, especially with Jupiter going through your first house, guys. This is your year. So you're really putting yourself out there. So you may be setting some intentions for perhaps something that you're writing, or a proposal of working with somebody that you're putting together. This is an excellent time to be doing that and getting as much of it done before we hit the retrograde. Get as much of that out as you can. And talking with partnerships and relationships, and talking with them about what it is you want and what it is that you need, and how maybe you have grown and you've learned through love. So card of the day is the Ace of Cups. These are so appropriate. Once again, having your cup full, being receptive, talking about your emotions, I see as, something that's really going to come up this month, of how you can express yourself emotionally, or how you can express how you're feeling about other people. Getting into Scorpio, guys, this is about not just finances, but your security, your value system, how you're feeling. If you're wanting to set some new financial goals in the next couple months, you're definitely going to be doing that. Saturn has been hanging out there long enough for you to get the hang of how you need to be really evaluating what's important and what brings you security and what brings you stability, not just in a financial sense, but in a sense of just everything in your life. Sorry. Moving on to the card that represents that. Wow, King of Pentacles, a whole lot of kings today. Financially feeling secure, being on top of things, having everything that you need to provide for yourself in all ways, shapes, and forms, and feeling secure with some of the decisions that you're going to be making, especially with Mercury there. I think it's a lot about talking about your financial plans moving forward, and how you can be planning for the long term. Next, we have Sagittarius. So this is the new moon that you get for the year, so you guys really want to make this count. I see this as a time where you can reinvent yourself with what you want personally, and setting some very personal goals for what you want to be achieving in the next 6 months. I think a lot of it has to do with very me energy, so it's okay to be a little selfish right now and be more focused on where you're going and what you're doing rather than other people. So Queen of Wands, that's very appropriate. It's what you're creating. It's what you're putting out there. It's what you're putting in order and able to create spiritually, what you're able to create physically, creatively, what you're bringing together and what you're working with. I also see that as like very magical. It's very manifesting, and it's definitely giving you the opportunity to perhaps maybe even work with other people, or be seeking some or various ways to get involved in like self-help, whether that's like books, or if you're going and doing personal development through groups or through studies. You may be finding that you're going to have somebody who's going to help instruct you through that process. Capricorns, for this I have release and let go. I mean, this is your 12th house, so any way that you can recharge and you can get reacclimated and reflect on everything, I recommend doing it, especially when it comes to separating yourself from the intensity of having to be thrown into the work sphere. It's really important that if there's anything, any patterns, any negative thought patterns or anything, habits, we really got to focus on letting them go, because it's going to give you more clarity and it's going to make you feel lighter and it's going to make you feel a little bit better. As for your card that you're getting, it's Six of Pentacles. So remember that, you know, Capricorns, I love Caps. You guys are so hardworking, and you can almost be self-sacrificial sometimes, at least in my opinion. So I think it's important to realize that if you're putting a lot out there and you're doing a lot for other people, it's okay to allow people to help you. It's okay to be seeking help if you're, you know, needing to talk to somebody about some stuff that you're going through. It's totally fine, be that a friend or a professional. Know that you have opportunities and you have options out there to help you through this transit. Moving into Aquarius, new friends and social groups, lots of networking. You got Mars there right now in Aquarius, so it's bringing in a lot of activity in terms of who you're interacting with and who you're seeing and who's around you. And I think that you have the opportunity to definitely find new ways to knowledge, spirituality, and social stuff just through new friends that are coming in and you going out and networking with people. As for that, the card that I pull is the Sun. So illuminating that, you know, taking joy, having fun. It's not just going to be about going out there and doing work or going out there and participating in groups. It's actual new friendships and happiness that are coming through this, and you starting to see, you know, how much light they bring, or these new people bring to your life. Then last but not least, we have Pisces. So self-mastery, guys. This is in your 10th house. Career goals. It has all to do with what you're looking to accomplish over the next several months, and what you're looking to bring in. I mean, where do you want to go? You guys are getting hit by some of these eclipses that are happening in Pisces earlier this year and in this fall. You guys have about another, I think, year of these kind of happening intermittently and bringing new themes of work challenges up for you. It's all about where you want to go from here. It's about evaluating how far you've come and making some new decisions. You know, we've got quite a few planets with Neptune and Chiron currently transiting Pisces, so you guys might be really working through some either karmic or some personal matters as a result of what you're doing with work, and you know, your personal lives are getting very involved with your beliefs and what you end up doing in the world. The card that I pull for you is Two of Pentacles. So being able to balance everything out, being able to make sure that you're taking everything into consideration. Also, I see this as you pacing yourself. You don't have to do it all at once. You're still going through a slow evolution over this next year with what's happening with some of these eclipses that's leading you to major career changes and having a little bit more insight into how you're going to be able to make your place in this world. I hope that these were helpful for you guys. And I'm just going to actually leave you with something. I'm really big on being able to apply either quotes or phrases or mantras into some of these moon cycles, because I think it helps us reflect and it helps us kind of remember what the overall theme is. I found something that really resonated with me personally, and this was a mantra that I feel like is very associated to Sag with the arrows. But I wrote down here, an arrow can only be shot by pulling it backwards. So when life is pulling you back, you're actually being shot in a new direction. So look at it as there may be some confusion, there may be some fogginess around this new moon, but anything that's coming up is really showing up to give you the opportunity to look at and evaluate and decide if you want to work with that energy or if you want to clear something that's blocking you, and then move forward. So aim high, stay positive, be patient. Like I said, a lot of these things will be developing as we get into December. And as always, if you guys want to chat with me or book a reading, you can find me on astrology.com, and you're more than welcome to leave comments and questions on the video below. Until next month, I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks.